What are you doing, Dad?
Well, I think it's time to do the 49. Gotta start with the motor.
Yep.
Motor swap time.
So the 49 Ford, that orange one that me and Dad last year got back running to go to a car show. Well, he finally decided that it needs more power. More horsepurs.
So, the old Mustang motor is going in there. We'll get you a picture of that.
Yeah.
So you know what it's capable of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
High 12s, low 13s at 106 miles an hour.
This little motor is about 325 horse.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
And then a truck that weighs 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Ish.
Ish.
It ought to scoot pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I tore it down a little while ago and made sure that there was no cracks, no problems, and now it's just rebuild time. So I got a gasket set, and this time on F&F Garage, we're gonna do a transplant. The motor I ported, the heads, on these castings, inside of here there's a big, huge piece on the side. It's a EGR port type thing. It's a big old tumor in there. So you grind those out, and then you port match your intake runners as best you can, and you get horsepower.
Yeah.
Never polish the intake. Makes the gas beat up and roll in instead of aspirate.
Mm-hmm.
So
Polish the exhaust side, not the intake side.
yes. So whenever anybody says they polish their intake side, they're idiots.
Because they just killed power instead of making more power.
Exactly.
Shut up, chicken.
Shut up, chicken! Get off the bench! You're gonna knock my beer over. Come on. There we go.
First head going on.
That is what movie theaters, what you're talking about, they did something similar when this first began. Was AMC, I remember sent me an email saying, hey, we're only going to allow...
Strange occasion on a F&F Garage. There's a torque wrench that came out.
Right?
Apparently we're trying to do this right.
Yeah, you know. Something about head bolts. They like to be torqued correctly.
Yeah. Oh, why every time I do this, it makes me need to pee. Dad's ingenious way of keeping the hood from falling down while they undo the hinges. Stadium seat.
It's a Tahiti seat.
Is that what it is? A Tahiti seat?
Yeah. Air it up underneath there. And hold the whole back up and pump it over.
That works. Well, I say that's free. Sweet. Weld filled those in or something, and then drill it.
It'll be alright.
Think so?
Yeah. They won't spread apart, so they'll hold from the center.
Alright.
We're not gonna hammer on it. It's just gonna be, it'll be fine.
You say that, and then the first thing we're gonna do is do a big old fat burnout.
I'm not doing a big old fat burnout.
Yes, you are. You're gonna do a big old fat burnout. You can't.
I don't ever do burnout.
You can't lie to me, Dad. We're gonna have one tire just annihilate one side of the tires the first day.
I've never done a burnout.
So the steel you get that we're using for the engine mounts, where'd you get it?
Got it with a bunch of free gold wings. It was part of a mock-up stand for the guy to reproduce the frames over and over again. So I had a big I-beam, and then this piece was up in the front with a piece for the fork tube, the down tube and everything. And so, anyway, just been kicking around. Now we're repurposing it into motor mounts.
Yep. Hot rodding at its finest.
Well, that's why you keep spare parts around. Gotta use them.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use them if you don't have them.
Right. really, really, really want to hear this thing run. So we are going from dash 8 to big hose and a little hose inside of it to a stock fuel pump to a jerry can.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
If it's gonna work, it's gonna work. If it's not, it's not.
Burp.
I just want to hear this thing run.
Okay. Yep. Hook up a couple wires.
Yep. Sweet. It runs.
Hot wired.
Pretty good for a weekend.
Yeah. Just 2 days.
Yeah.
F&F garage style. F&F garage. Now we just gotta button up all the little things.
Yep.
And finish wiring it, of course.
Yeah.
And build a battery box, because I don't think the battery's gonna ride right there very well.
No.
So.
But for testing purposes, it worked great.
Yep. Alright, so Horst isn't here today, so I thought I'd take a second to do this. He'll find it when he goes through the films. This motor came out of a 67 Mustang that originally sat across the street from my house when I was growing up as a kid. I always wanted the car. I let the guy know, his name was Adam, let him know I wanted to buy it, and one day I got a call. And he said he was selling it. So I went and bought it. I drove the car. I had it for a long time. Really long time. And I drove it and decided to make it a drag car. So I rebuilt the motor. Put my own cam in there. Roller cam. It still has the original roller rockers in it that it had before. But honestly, that's about all that's original anymore, is those rockers. I put Smith Brother push rods in there, and I changed the valve springs. I put Windsor heads on it, basically because I broke the other ones. And then the bottom end came out of a van. I blew up my 289 and the original block, and so the van had a good 302 that was fresh. So I took the bottom end of that, put all my stuff on it, and it is what it is today. It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be way too much power, and hopefully we don't have to change spark plugs all the time because of fouling. But anyway, I thought I'd just give a little backstory on the progression of this motor and what it's been to me in my life. But yeah, so this thing's probably been 26 years in my possession. So it's been a while. So anyway, thought you'd enjoy that.
So we made this shifter linkage out of some time joints and parts we had laying around the shop, and Dad's got his shifter.
It's gonna be direct shift off the top of the tranny.
Yeah, worked pretty good. So we got this thing all plumbed up. Its own fuel system. Dad's gonna throw some fuel in the tank. Got some wiring. Dad wired up a new key switch so it doesn't have the button anymore. Yeah, he's got a little bit more wiring to do, but he's got the main part to get it running done.
It's about ready to have the front clip put back on.
Yeah, just about.
So we can figure out the radiator and fan. So.
But throttle linkage is done. Dad used an old van pedal for his new throttle pedal. So that's pretty cool. Shifter. Dad adjusted it a little bit so that way he didn't have to cut the tunnel. So now it's got a little kick to it. Still works. And he added a spring so it's not so easy to bump down. Dad, I think I know why all the TV shows always put it in 180 out.
Why?
Because they always want that big fireball to come out the intake every time they start it for the first start.
That's dumb.
That
is dumb.
Yep. Well, did you hear Chip Foose's excuse the one time that they did it in there?
No.
And they started it 180 out? He's like, oh, it's a crate motor. They always put the distributors in 180 out when they deliver them. Oh, I think it's flooded.
Is it?
Yeah, it was spitting fuel out the
Think the carb's stuck?
out of here. Yeah, I think the carb got stuck.
Oh. My ignition switch didn't shut the power off either.
Oh no?
No. What do you do? Just gonna have to adjust the floats, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, it turned off.
Alright. So now we know that wire's the problem.
Yep. That one right there. That guy. Back feeds power and makes the key not work. And then the thing runs out of control.
First time I've ever put a GM alternator on a Ford. And bypassed the regulator, so I'm trying to learn how to wire it. It's a new thing for me.
Right.
So.
It's not a very common thing. I mean, I've heard of guys doing it on Toyotas, but not very many people put a one-wire alternator on on a Ford.
Yeah, I don't know. So, at least we know where the problem lies, and it's not in the ignition switch.
Right. Contact. And it charges, it starts, it shuts off with the key.
Yeah. Only a little magic smoke and we got her done.
Yeah, we almost smoked the key switch because directions on the Chinese freaking relay were backwards. But that works. So now Dad's got this rat nest to figure out. And we're that much closer to driving this turd.
Yeah, we got a driveline that's cut in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can't.
You just dragged the Mustang driveline out that you didn't know where it was?
Yeah, I didn't think I saved it. And I think that's the Mustang driveline.
Do you think it's the right length?
I think it is. What's the chances?
I don't know. 1 in however many drive shafts we have here.
Let's see.
I'd say the chances look freaking perfect. I don't know about you, but that looks about 4 inches to me.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, we were gonna shoot for 4.5, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 1/4.
3 1/4.
And that was giving us some grace.
Yeah.
That might just go in there. It might stick out a little far.
Yeah, because that was 4 inches with the yoke all the way in.
Yeah.
So, it might work.
There's your mission.
Stick it in.
Stick it in. See if it works.
Yep.
Rear U joint.
Mm-hmm.
And we need a transcooler. And lines. Yeah, wire the lights. Fill rear end.
Mm-hmm.
Coolant.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna probably need more transmission fluid.
Trans fluid. Wire gauges. Find fuses.
Find fuses.
Burn tires.
Yep. Perfect. It didn't look like it was yet, but it's doing the same thing that it was last time. So Dad's gonna see if he can't figure out why this thing keeps flooding.
We're gonna try.
Bloop.
There's a piece of crap right there. See it?
Oh yeah. I don't know if I can get it in focus. Hold on. Wait. Right there. No.
No. It wasn't moving.
Alright, here we go. Now it's going to move under its own power.
Maybe.
Popped it again. It moved under its own power.
It done it? Go further would have been good.
Try it.
she is.
Apparently the key switch is our mortal enemy.
We had a perfect one until we fried it
Yeah.
with a relay.
Yeah. Huh. Dad's getting the brakes all fixed up so that this thing will actually stop.
Maybe.
Maybe. Chicken. Oh, she's ready to lay an egg. Come here. Oh. She was squatting. So, you might have noticed, Zach hasn't been around a lot in this episode, or a few episodes of F&F Garage, actually. Maybe once or twice he shows up. Well, I think a while back, and a couple episodes ago, me and Zach announced that his wife was pregnant. Well, she's getting farther along now, and me and Dad were out in Medford, and I got a phone call from him saying his wife's water broke, and so now while we're working on this, they're at the hospital right now, hopefully having their first baby. So it's awesome. It sucks that he's not around, but it's for a good reason. He's got to stay home, stay close to the kid, the new kid soon. So much love goes out to you, Zach, and we hope everything goes well, and can't wait to see my niece.
Congratulations!
Dad got this cool new tool to freaking bleed brakes. I don't know how it works, but it seems to suck. Ha! Mm-hmm.
I don't think we had brakes up there.
No, we didn't.
Let me add it up there.
Mm-hmm.
No. Brakes.
Head stuff so we can cross it off. Fill rear end. Coolant.
We haven't done that yet.
Oh, it's got water in it. I call that done enough.
Alright.
Still got trans lines to do.
Yeah.
Trans fluid, gauges. Did you find your fuses?
No.
Okay. How much closer to doing burnouts? Wire gauges. You can mark off wire lights.
Uh-huh.
And transcooler lines.
Cooler lines. Done. Fire lights. Done. This is still a question mark. Found enough. And alright. Trans fluid. Done. Wires. Done. Distributor eye. After much trouble. Done. All we got is one thing left to do. Let's go see if we can check that off the list.
Alright. How's that?